Alright guys, welcome. This is the third episode of my series, Free Weights versus Machines versus Cables. In this episode, we're going to discuss how your selection of different categories should change as you have progressed from a beginner hypertrophy trainee to intermediate hypertrophy trainee. Once you can no longer make strength progress as fast as you used to, you're officially graduated as a beginner. What awaits you ahead is the long and arduous daily grinding of being an intermediate. As an intermediate, you can lift some decent heavy weights, which means now you have to start monitoring your recovery, as 10 sets of 150 kilograms of back squat is an entirely different recovery demand compared to 10 sets of 50 grams of back squat. This will be the first reason why you want to consider start decreasing your free weight exercise portions in your training program. In addition, as you cannot make fast strength progress from free weight compound movements, still relying on strength as the main volume driver will become a less and less efficient way for muscle growth, and it will make your daily grind less and less productive. Now, I'm not saying that as an intermediate, you should stop trying to progress your strength, as there's still quite some room for you to advance. But do understand this. At some point on your intermediate journey, sets and reps have to overtake strength as the main volume driver. And free weight basics, they're really not the best choice to increase sets and reps. This is the second reason you want to consider start decreasing your free weight exercise portions in your training program. On top of that, as you have already restricted yourself to basic free weight compound movements for the most part of your beginner phase, your connective tissues like joints, tendons, and ligaments, they have already accumulated some wear and tear. And you may already have some nagging pain areas by the time you have progressed to intermediate stage. And if you still restrict yourself to the same basic free weight compound movements while trying to increase the training volume, then more than likely your joints, tendons, and ligaments will give up way before your muscle does. This is the third reason that you may want to start decreasing your free weight training portions in your training program. So why use cables to supplement free weight exercises during intermediate phase? As an early intermediate, you would want something that is a close alternative to free weight exercises, and cables are much better candidates than machines. They still give you some freedom to adjust every rep, like free weights do, whereas machines preset the movement path and don't allow you any freedom of any movement. The resistance from cable is not as real as free weights, but still much less artificial than machines with some weird leverages. So even cable exercises are truly a deviant from free weight exercises. The difference would not be so significant in your early intermediate stage. As you progress to late intermediate, cables begin to shine on other features. Things like more exercise choices, constant tension, safe stretch of the muscle, joint friendliness, medium to high reps potential. All these features are quite different from free weight exercise features and start to somehow mimic the features of machines. So, just like I mentioned in episode 1, cables are the perfect medium ground between free weights and machines. And as the perfect medium ground, it will be no surprise to you that cables are going to be the shining star on your intermediate training journey. In fact, it makes sense to gradiently reduce your free weight exercise volume and gradiently increase your cable exercise volume as you progress from an early intermediate to a late intermediate. And please, let me explain the rationale by using the house analogy again. Although the foundation, beginner phase, is the most important part of a house, you're not going to use exactly the same method to build up the main framing of the house, which is the intermediate phase. And I'm sure there are many similarities between a foundation and the main framing. They both have to be very heavy load bearing, and they are both limited in design choices, just like free weight compound movements. And the closer to the foundation, the more similarities the main frame is going to share with the foundation, like an early intermediate. But as the main framing gets further away from the foundation, which is the late intermediate, the less similarities it will share with the foundation. It will be less load bearing and it will have more design choices, which is like cable exercises. So, just like the main framing is the bridge between the foundation and everything else, cables are also the bridge between basic free weight movements and endless fancy machines. It will smoothly transition you from beginner phase to intermediate phase and get you ready for the advanced training phase. Alright guys, that's it for the third episode. In episode 4, we will discuss how the selection will change again once you have reached advanced phase. If you find this kind of series interesting, why not subscribe to my channel? It's free, it's easy, and please let me help you get jacked in the fastest natural way possible. Then you can have all the time to do all the rest fun stuff in the world. Think about that. Feel free to drop some comments below if you want to add anything to this comparison, and I shall see you all in the final episode, Advanced Hypertrophy Training. Peace out.